Ups this time. I think we might have it. Okay, I'm gonna trust it. I'm gonna trust it, and we're gonna go ahead and go for it. Yeah, we're getting much better upload. Okay. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Here we go. We're live, and this time I mean it. Yeah, yeah. This is EnviroBoy. It is Monday, February 22nd, 2021, and this is my second attempt at starting this stream because the first time we were getting some sort of weird something or other. I don't even really know what was going on with my computer. I tried a couple things and then I just ended up restarting the computer, and that did the trick. But we were having some troubles with that first one. I double checked the playback, and after about 5 minutes of a stream, I had 24 seconds of clip on the Twitch replay because of that many dropped frames. I don't know what the deal was. But that's okay, because we're live, baby. We're live, baby. We're live, and we're going to do this. Um, so, yeah. Yeah, I'm EnviroBoy. Today is a Monday, which means we are doing some writing on this stream today. We are going to do it. We're going to do some writing. We're going to write, and it's going to be fun. So we left off last time. We were starting to work a little bit on... well, last time, actually, we spent some time just talking about and putting together our details template here for different races and whatnot, because I enjoy sort of fleshing out the histories of all the different races in my D&D world. So we spent some time doing that, but before that, we were working on our pirate cove here. And I have here a copy of the map that I started with, but you know what? I was not very far into it and not very invested in it, so we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to be brave. We're going to delete it. We're just going to start fresh. We're going to start with a fresh template because I was having some struggles with the map, some issues with the program that I used to map that I just didn't really know how to solve. And rather than sitting here and fighting with the program for a long time, I'm just going to go ahead and start fresh. That's what we're going to do. I just noticed a typo there, so we're going to be fixing that up right there. Although actually it probably wasn't a typo. It was probably... Oh, yeah. See. It wasn't a typo. It was accidentally goofing up on the formatting when I was putting in that document. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start with the map here. We've developed our setting for the Pirate Cove, right? I've talked about it ad nauseum. The Pirate Cove is part of our island that we're working on right now. It's sort of a cove that leads to a Goonie-style cave where pirates used to hide out and store their treasure and stuff so that they could avoid, being hung and stuff. It's kind of brutal, isn't it? I mean, I guess they're pirates, and when you think about, we romanticize pirates with, Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's all like, oh, they were all, actually just misunderstood people like Jack Sparrow, but, actually they were horrible people that murdered, raped, and just generally speaking stole for the sake of as much fun as necessities to survive. But we're gonna go ahead and go with the fantasy version of them a little bit more, make it a bit more romanticized. All right, so let's go ahead and I gotta get a couple things going here if we're gonna go ahead and make a map. I'm gonna pull up Dungeon Painter Studio here. Damage per second. Dungeon Painter Studio. DPS. Double penetration sex. Am I allowed to say that on Twitch? I'm probably not allowed to say that on Twitch. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. All I know is that Twitch is very touchy about it. Oh well. If I get in trouble, I get in trouble. That's how it goes. Oh my goodness, be slower on the load. There we go. Okay, so we got that up and ready to go, and then we need to go to our dungeon builder here. Notice the background, we got ourselves some nice vaporwave going on right now. I was in the mood for that. I'm just kind of in that mood in general. You can see I changed my, behind me, we changed I changed my my LED lights to be in a nice like. Well, to me it looks like kind of a sky blue. Um, but I'm red green colorblind, so it's very possible that that's like a teal or something. I don't know. I don't know what color it is, but we're just gonna just gonna enjoy it because regardless of what color it appears to everyone else, to me it looks like a wonderful like it's sort of like a soothing cool color to me. You know, it feels very like to be a little punny about it. Feels like a nice chill winter day. Subtle pun. Very subtle. Maybe not that much of a pun at all. Bing! That's my phone. Let's see if it's anything fun. Something that can wait. Isn't that lovely? I don't know what kind of mood I'm in right now. This is a weird mood. I don't know what I'm doing right now. But, no, I know what we're doing right now. We are making ourselves a dungeon. The Secret Prison of Asut the Awesome. It's a cool title, but we're going to change that. The Pirate Cove. Doesn't matter. Hold on. Let's see if it just, like... No, it's not going to give us. It's going to be a bad... I didn't realize that Enter would do that. I thought Enter would just, like, key it in there. Oh, well. Hold up. Okay. Yeah. Alright, let's see here. So, dungeon level is going to be 2. Not that it really matters. Party size of 5. It doesn't really matter. I don't use that information, but I like putting it in there just because I feel like that impacts, to a degree, some of the random seating that they use in this. Map style can be there. Grid. Oh yeah, we want square grid. Dungeon layout. I kind of like to do that as random. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold up. This is a D&D stream. We're writing for D&D. What is a more appropriate method of choosing things for D&D than letting the dice choose for us? I'm going to pull out... I've got myself a beautiful pouch of dice. This is the pouch I keep all of my favorite dice in. Because it's one of them sweet ones. I don't know if I can get the angle right. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see it. It's one of those sweet ones. We're inside the little pucker here. I regret using that word. Within the opening, it's got all these little partitions, so we can have all of the different sizes of dice, and so I can keep all of my dozens of dice. Some people like get super into collecting the minifigs. No, not me. I'm a full-on dice whore. I am all about the dice. I've got so many different sets. And of course, my pride and joy. This is something that my sister gave to me. It's my D100. I call it the Jawbreaker. One, because it looks like a piece of candy, and 2, because my players are pissing me off. I could chuck it at them and probably chip a tooth. But we're not going to use that right now. Instead, we're going to use one of my D10s. But I want to pick which D10 we're going to use, because I've got a lot of really cool D10s in here that I like. I mean, are we going to use the giant Starburst pink D10? Are we going to use the Steampunk D10? No. No, what we're going to use right now is one of my newest D10s. The newest one is the pink giant one. But what we're going to use right now is my newest one. It's a metal die, gold trim. Oh, hold it up here so you can see it. Gold trim with... It's going to focus on me. It's not going to focus on the die, is it? I don't know if I can get it to focus on the dice. I don't even know if I can hold it properly. You can kind of see it, though. It's gold trim with black and orange coloring on the faces. So we're going to let this decide what the layout of the map is going to be. So we got 10 options, 1 being square. Well, we'll do 1 being the square and 0 being cavernous, because 0 represents 10. So that's how we're going to do this. It is... What is that? I can't read it. It's a 3. It's a 3. 1, 2, 3. It's a box. We're going to have a nice boxy layout for this one. I can see that. That can work as a cave. Sort of like the cave system goes out. And remember, we're going to set this one up so that we have like 2 two overlapping layers. We're going to have one of them be the ground layer, like the cavern stone floor layer that the players can walk on, and then we're going to do a layer underneath it. Excuse me, a layer underneath it that is going to be where the where like the water network goes, and so that's how the mermaids, the merfolk, and the marrow move around. So dungeon size. This, remember, we do custom because I have my own poster size 2 foot by 3 foot um, um, poster thing that I use as a real life map, and I like to try and make all of my stuff compatible with that. So we do a 34 by 22, just so that way we have a little bit of a border around the edge when I'm using that thing, as is my habit. So yes, we're gonna do that. Peripheral egress. Yes, it's gonna just have one. Stairs, we want no stairs. Room layout, I always do complex, just so that way we don't have everything being just like a square room, because I think that's super boring and plain. I like having these more complex rooms. I think it fills out the space better. Room size, we're going to make the rooms small. I always kind of err towards making the rooms small. I think it makes battles a bit more complex when you have to navigate space properly like that. I think it's much more interesting that way. I mean, sometimes we'll go with medium, but I feel like for this one, because we're not going to be using the whole space because it's doing the square, I think, or the box layout, I think it's going to be much more effective to keep them small. Plus, it's a cavern series, so I think that makes more sense. Doors, standard, that's kind of irrelevant. I like to go with labyrinth for the halls, for the corridors, just because I think it's more interesting if there's, again, like the more complexity you add to the map, the more interesting things like combat end up being. So I always lean towards there. Remove dead ends. I'm going to say none. Just keep all kinds of dead ends there. Fill it out real nice. Okay, and then we're going to construct it. Do it. Construct it. There it is. And it gave us, alright, it spat 8 rooms out at us, but we got plenty of hallway down there that we can work for some of our 9 and 10 areas there. So, there we go. That looks good. That looks good as I'm looking at this. Yeah, I'm on board with this. I like this. I like this a lot. So, here's how we're going to go ahead and set this up. I'm going to set up our 2 quadrants there just to make it a bit easier. Focus on this one. Building some rooms. So now the floor. Let's see here. This isn't the set I like. The set that I like to use. It's called Tops Collection. It's, you can, if you're using this source, I should probably, I'm going to go ahead and cite it because I think it definitely doesn't hurt for people to get, you know, some even, you know, so get some more ads out to that group that's made that thing. I think they deserve it. It's a collection of a very extensive collection of assets and resources for Dungeon Painter's Studio, and I'm a big fan of it. I've been using it lately. Definitely a big fan of it. Highly recommend it. Ground. Let's see here. So it's a cave, so normally I'd go with the dark, but because it's such a dark background, honestly, I don't like using them that dark. I kind of prefer being able to use them. I like something a bit lighter. Like I'm gonna go with the clay, I think. All right, and then just to make it easy here, so the way I like to do this, so we can see our room. So let's see here. The way we're gonna do this. Yeah, I'm gonna do this just room by room here, and we gotta do our polygon. But I'm going to do the rooms, and then we'll connect them with the hallways, because I think that was my issue, is I was trying to do the really complex structures, and the problem with doing it that way is it automatically fills it in, and there's not an easy, obvious tool within this system, at least not that I found, to hollow out an area that's already been filled in. So it's easier to just go room by room. So room 3 here goes down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's down 5 and over 5. It's just a 5 by 5 room. So we go up there, there, and there. There's our 3. So then 4 comes over here, goes over 3, down 2, over 2, down by 5, then over all the way to make it a nice box. So there's our room 4. So now that we've got a couple rooms for reference here, I'm going to start doing them in number order just to make sure I don't miss any of them. So 1 goes down 5, goes over 7, goes up 3, over 2, up 2, over 5 to close out the 1. Okay, and then 2 matches up at the corner here, goes down. Is that 5? Yep, goes down 5, over 2, down 2, over 5, goes up to make a nice flush corner. Beautiful. Nice. Okay, so that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so never mind. I'm not going to do them in number order. That is idealistic and stupid of me. We're going to go up 3, down 5. Whoops, that's 6. Go down 5, right? Yeah, 5. Over 3. So there's that room 8. Now we got to get room 6 going on here. I need more room to work with. More room to work with. 3 goes over 5. We go down flush, go over 3, up there, and there. Okay, there we go. And then 5. Ooh, 5's a big ass room. It goes 7 by 7 looks like. Yeah. 7 by, we gotta go over and give myself a bit more room to work with here. 7 by 7. Okay, so there's all of our rooms except for room number 7, but I think room number 7 actually is going to be easier if I have myself go ahead and get chunks of hallway done first. Yeah, I want to get that chunk of hallway, those chunks of hallway that are between. I want to get those done first. So let's get this chunk. Let's just work on getting that there. Just goes up and matches, goes down 1. And then on the outside, we need to go down 2 past the corner here. 1, 2. And we go over 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the one thing about streaming this portion. I feel like it's a little dull, but I actually kind of like doing it because I think it's methodical. It's relaxing to a degree. I enjoy doing it, and it's all part of the process. And I'm trying to just sort of demonstrate for everyone what my process is. You know, I think I do a lot of DMing, and I think I've done enough that at this point in time I actually have a fairly honed in skill set for it. And I think there's some value in me sharing that for people, especially if there's anyone who finds their way here who's a new or aspiring DM. I think there's depressingly little material available to brand new DMs, if that makes sense. Hold on, it goes down to the corner, and then we go down 1, 2, 3 more. I'm gonna go down 4 more. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it all in chunks. That's just so much easier to kind of keep it all organized in my head to do it like chunk-wise there. But yeah, I felt for a while that like there's like my process of learning how to be a DM has been a very sort of haphazard process. Let's see here. So if we're starting on the corner, we go over 2 to match there, and then it goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like it's been, you know, I've learned well enough. I've learned, and I've gotten, at least according to my players, I've gotten fairly good at, you know, this DMing thing. And I'm proud of that, and I'm happy that I have achieved that. But in a lot of ways, I feel like the process of becoming a good DM has been a whole lot of learning and like making mistakes and just sort of being attentive enough to know when I've made a mistake and to know what the solution of that mistake is, or to be able to learn what the solution is on my own. And there's dozens and hundreds of articles that exist out there, but as well intentioned as those articles are and helpful in their own right, for me, I feel like there's a lot of people, myself being one of them, who an article is only so helpful for. You know, sometimes you need to be able to see what other people are doing and witness and observe the process. And so that's kind of why I'm sticking to this. There seems to be some general interest. I've gotten I've gotten more people sitting here watching me work on writing my world than I have me playing video games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just connect that portion right there. Which is surprising to me. I wasn't really expecting that. It's early on, and so people's attitudes towards me streaming this and doing my writing as my streaming, that might change, but it isn't really what I expected, to be perfectly honest. And that's okay. I dig it. I'm a-okay with that. Let's see. That's where I'm at. Go 2, 1 down 2, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, and then go up 1, 2, 3, 4. There, down. Let's just connect this chunklet back up here. There we go. Yeah, I hadn't really anticipated that, and I think it says something that there may be, at least as far as the hobby of D&D goes, I think to me that suggests that there is a bit of a gap in what is, provided, what you can find. There's just not many people who are willing to show. Oh shoot! Undo that. Yeah. There just aren't that many people who are willing to take the time to show what this part of the process looks like. And I think it's because there's a perception of it being kind of a boring process. And I mean, from a streaming standpoint, I actually, even though I'm sitting here doing it, I kind of agree. I feel like this isn't exceptionally riveting content, but I think there's a place for it. Just as how there's a place for Bob Ross, or it's still, even after his death. I'm not even gonna stoop to saying was a place, a market for him and his show, of him just showing the process. I think in general there's room for tutorial type of systems. Like, that's why you can see there are YouTube channels dedicated exactly to describing how to solve puzzles in various games. I think there's more of a market for that kind of stuff than a lot of people sort of actively recognize. We all sort of passively understand that it's there and people will watch those. But most people just sort of leave that up to, the process of creating that type of content up to someone else. And like I say, I feel like that is a huge gap in the D&D scene. I think, you see some things, like with Critical Role, they kind of work on some of their stuff. Like, they've got their, which is, I still have to say, Critical Role, the title they came up for their series, The Handbooker Helper, I'm all about that title. And they made all kinds of jokes about it being a dumb title, but I thought it was brilliant when I first heard of it. So like, there are lots of tutorials, don't get me wrong, but you don't see people just kind of making it a habit of going through their process. And I feel like sometimes being able to watch people at their process is how you come up with ideas. And you can't come up with more ideas if you are struggling with writer's block per se, and all you can find are the same articles on the same topics that you've already read multiple times over. Sometimes you just need fresh thoughts. And that's, to me, why I think this is cool here, and why I like being able to use this as a way to connect and talk with and discuss things with other DMs and other players too, because I think that an important part of this creation process is that sharing of ideas. Okay, so we have our overlayer here. This is going to be our layer of our player walking layer. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to all those, group them together. Gonna rename this. Let's see here. Ground layer. Just gonna call that the ground layer. Now, you need to come back over here, and for this map, what I'm gonna try and do. Now, this is where it's gonna get tricky. I'm gonna roll again. This time, I'm gonna pull out just to match my lights that I've got going on. We have our, I call them my ice dice. Trying to hold it up here. I'm really bad at aiming the camera. Oh, it's trying to focus. It focused. I just gotta hold it right in front of my face. You can see they're white with like some, to me it looks like a transparent sky blue. Maybe it's teal. I don't know. It's fun. We add some mystery to life that way. See, it's my color blindness isn't a handicap. It's a feature. But we're going to use this and we're going to see what layer we get. The only rule is I will re-roll if we get box again, because I want it to be different. I want it to look different. And this one, it's the good news about this one is I don't care how many areas it or like rooms or whatever it provides for us. So we're gonna do, okay, so we got forest, that means we got cross. And then room size, I'm actually gonna move that up to medium because I want larger sections of water that kind of poke out in our larger underground rivers and stuff. So we're gonna construct this and let's see what happens with it. There we go. Okay. I already dig this. I already think this is going to work very nicely. So now the trick is I need to find some way to balance. So, there's going to be some things that I need to balance. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to come over here. We're going to make this as a completely separate thing, and then we'll drag and drop them to overlay, is what we'll do. So for the top, so let's just have this be our, it doesn't really matter. We just need to go over 2, 1, 2, up here. And then it uses the peripheral egress up there. So hold on. I'm going to delete that in a second, but I just want that to start. So we need to go overlay. Is there like a, I was hoping there'd be like a water overlay or something. Alright, fluids, water here. Okay. So, just want to delete that. Oh shit, I already forgot where it was. Okay, 1, 2, it comes up here. Okay, so that's our, this is where that peripheral egress, this thing right here is. Just move that way because I forgot which way I was going to have it go. But then, okay, so it goes down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to count that again just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, it goes down 9. So we'll do that and that. So we've got an egress right there, and I think I'm probably going to add one more to have at least one river match up with the pathway in. But we will get to that. So now let's get our rooms in place. Now we've got a starting point for the sake of reference. It goes down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Go over here. Back up there. Okay. So we've got that one. And then this room goes down by 5, over 2, down 2, over like that, up like that, up like that. So one thing that I always, that I think is, oh yeah, I love that room 1, that's perfect. One thing that I kind of always think about, well, not always think about, but I often think about is the way I do my maps. Some people stylistically would probably find them frustrating, probably do find them frustrating if they watch this. Because I like to let these things be very boxy. They really don't look like natural features most of the time. This style works very well for something that is intended to be sort of like a man-made construct, structure, like if you're in a building or something. It definitely, this style that I employ works quite well for that, but ends up looking very boxy and pretty unnatural for something like a cave system. So I can imagine a lot of people will be watching me going through this process and doing my process, and feeling almost frustrated at how uniform and square everything ends up looking. That goes over 7, doesn't it? Yeah. After a while, you can start just sort of eyeballing these things. I think about that a lot, and I have considered adjusting my map making style to be something that's much more sort of organic in style. I have definitely thought about that, but I always end up deciding to stick with this method, and there's a couple reasons for that. One of those reasons is simply ease. Some might call it laziness, and I'm not even going to try and argue against that. There's a degree of laziness that comes with choosing a method that is the easy way. There's no doubt about that, and I'm not really I'm really not embarrassed about that. I The fact is to keep up with any consistent group, right? Like if you want to produce stuff fast enough, you have to find a system that you can do in a timely manner. And for me, that's what this system is. I don't have to spend gratuitous amounts of time trying to come up with something aesthetically pleasing, as long as I sort of accept that everything is going to be aesthetically pretty uniform from dungeon to dungeon. I recognize that to a lot of people it might seem bland and a little displeasing, but for me, I like my focus. If I'm going to be spending a lot of time on any part of the entire process of designing dungeons for players to enjoy, I would prefer to spend it on things like NPC creation and story focus. A map is forgettable. Even if you make a really beautiful, aesthetically pleasing map, ultimately it's going to be forgettable. It's just the nature of maps. People don't look back on a game and think to themselves like, "Oh, I remember how cool that map looked." Maybe there's a few instances if someone is particularly adept at it, but like, I've had a lot of DMs, like as a player, I've had DMs who put a lot of effort into the map, and as much as I appreciate it in the moment, I couldn't from memory recreate any single map any DMs that I have seen make. I would never be able to do it. And that's because, as cool as they are, and while they do help with immersion, they're not the most important part. I find that realistic characters, interesting, compelling stories, and drawing players and their characters into the story is a much more important component of that process. So that's the biggest reason why I oftentimes do sort of cheap out on the maps and do it sort of simply like this: water layer. So all of that to say that I recognize that this is not the most complex and compelling approach to things. And I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with that. So I'm looking at this. I think we can make this work. But I need to find some way. To make it clear, where the water layer is. And I think what's really cool about this is the water layer is going to, in a lot of ways, end up sort of interfering with the pathways and stuff. So that's another thing that I have to think about here. But for the moment, what I first want to do is I'm going to take lines here, and we're going to find a blue, some sort of blue that's bright enough, actually a blue that matches. And what I'm going to do is just trace the outline here of the water. So my thought is, if we get the outline so we can see exactly where the water is, then that way when there's like overlap, the way I can just, what I'm thinking I'll do is anytime there's overlap, I'll just explain it as there's a river that crosses the path or runs parallel with it. Whoops, oh shoot. Can I, damn it. Where's our, there's gotta be an undo. Hold on. There's gotta be an undo button. I know there's an undo button. There's gotta be an undo button. Yeah, there it is. Undo. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, we gotta start my line over again, but that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. It's a little frustrating, but you know what? Sometimes oopsies happen, and the best thing you can do is just kind of keep going with it. Just accept that it happened, and you know, get back to doing it right. I'm feeling this song that's on right now. What is this? All Night, instrumental by Prism. Yeah, I'm digging it. I feel it. Yeah, the synthwave is doing it for me tonight. I wanted something a bit more, with a bit more energy to it, a bit more pop. Oh, I goofed up on that line. That's okay. You know, I'm just gonna accept it and move on. Yeah, I think if I get these lines here, I think these should stand out well enough so that it'll still be clear where the water is on the ground layer here. As if this is gonna work like I'm imagining in my mind. We can do this and do that right there. There we go. So we got, yep, we got the line there. Go ahead and get these. So this is one as well. So we need to get this hollowed out area here. That, and then we gotta get this hollowed out area here. Okay, so shift there. Let's grab these, group them together. We're gonna call these water outline. Water, oops, outline. Okay, and so now we can put the water layer down there. Okay, so now we can kind of see, yeah, I think that kind of, I think that's okay. Because what's the thing is too is you could say, well, why don't you just then delete the water layer, and only keep the ground layers? And the reason I don't do that is because the water layer is fully functional. It's a fully functional component. In fact, actually, you know what I'm gonna do for this? Yeah. Okay, I know exactly how this is gonna work. This is better. This is a better way to think about it. So it's not that anywhere they're overlapping, that's where it is. It's where it's overlapping. That's all areas where that's open and usable by the it's open and usable by the monsters, but not by the players per se, unless they get in the water. So it's important to know that like monsters could be swimming underneath here. And then when you see areas like this where there's water in between there, then instead of there being like a like um, any sort of like physical barrier like wall or something like that, instead it's just open water that they would need to find a way to cross is what it is. And so that's going to be the idea of this cavern. So now the only thing that I'm thinking is I may end up deleting this later. Well, first here I'm gonna quickly shift grab those. We're gonna group those. I'm gonna say floor layer. Group those all together. So now I'm gonna do walls here. We'll do a dark rock wall. And I'm gonna try and do the walls in such a way that when there's open things like that, we don't put a wall up. So that way, hopefully, it'll be a bit more visually obvious what areas are walled off and what areas there's just like a water chasm per se. So like right there, you can see the water, and that goes out. So, but then in this area, there's no water, so that stays all as wall. And that's water. So that opens up to, that's where our opening is, right? And the opening goes there, so you kind of have like an opening into the hallway is kind of what I'm thinking we'll do there. And then we can have it this. So now we're making our cave walls here, right? And we have a wall there. So from that corner, that area is like all open, and it opens up into there. So you have actually this area kind of turns into a large open, it's more of an overhang, and that's kind of where our entry point is in a lot of ways. Yeah, it's not really open, but you can kind of see the opening that leads into it. Right, and so then we can come over here like this, and then actually we can go ahead and close that wall off there, because that's where our yeah, okay. The only thing that's tough about this, and I'm up for the challenge, it'll make it a bit slower getting through this, but the trick is going to be to be willing to stay, like, go slow while I'm putting these walls up and stay focused to make sure that I know which walls open up to what. It's a challenge and requires a bit of extra, like, it'll definitely require a lot of extra attention span. It'll require a lot of extra attention span when I'm DMing too, to kind of keep everything straight and organized, and understand it all. But I think it'll be valuable, and I think it'll be worth it, because I think this is going to make a really interesting and dynamic dungeon for players. Right, and this is another reason why I actually really like keeping things blocky. By keeping it blocky and letting myself use the donjon tool, then I really make it much easier for myself in terms of trying to plot out and plan out all of these types of things here. And so like this is going to be really cool, because this, like, these hallways open up to this big wide open area of water here that players can try and decide if they want to find a way to navigate that, or if they just want to say screw it, it's fine, leave it, and move on. I think that's a really interesting dilemma that players will have to sort of work through. So the only thing that I'm noticing already is what I'm going to definitely have to do is I'm definitely going to have to ungroup my ground layer so I can bring the water lines up over top, because they're getting really cut off, and it's going to be very hard to see and know conceptually where the water belongs, and what areas are connected by water and all of that jazz. So let's see, I want to work on this area just a little bit. But I like this idea that it's going to be much harder for players to understand and make sense of sort of how to navigate this area. But I also like one thing that I think is going to be interesting that I hope the players will appreciate is that doing things this way will definitely open up a lot of opportunities for them to have better scouting of other rooms, because since this is a cave system, there are no doors. So rather than having doors to like try and sneak through or peek through a keyhole or crack open just a bit, instead they're going to have various, in some parts of the dungeon they're going to have various vantage points that will give them advantages, but there'll also be advantages that can be utilized by the enemies, right? So I think this is going to be really cool. I think this is going to be a really cool dungeon once I get it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Click on it, dang it. There we go. Goes up there. Oh my gosh, man, this is a big old carpal tunnel night here. I'm giving myself all kinds of wrist problems doing all this sort of like fine motor work with the mouse here. But oh, is it going to be worth it? Oh, it's going to be worth it. I'm already kind of visualizing how this will play out when I have players actually exploring this dungeon, and it is going to be so cool. What am I doing one wall at a time for? This is really dumb. End that there. Yeah, it's really dumb that I'm like sitting here doing this all. Yeah, I'm saving so much time already. I don't know what on earth I was doing. Ah, what a fool I've been. Yeah, this is a bit quicker too. This will make it better for viewing and whatnot, I think. I don't know, maybe people like sitting here watching me do a million clicks, in an hour. Who knows? I'm gonna finish these walls, and then I'm looking at the clock. It's about 8 o'clock, which is my usual quick break time for myself. I give myself that because I ain't getting paid for this, so I'm gonna make sure I'm comfortable and enjoying it while I'm doing it. I'm doing all of this for free. The goodness of my heart for all, like, nobody that watches me. Yeah, it's hard to conceptualize how on earth uh you can be building a following as a streamer, because you're just a bucket, you're just a drop of water in the ocean. Like, there are so many, and it's like, and I don't even mean that as in like, oh gosh, I gotta somehow myself stand out against all the garbage. Like, no, like, there's just so many legitimately awesome streamers in the world that it's like, how do you find a way? I'm just gonna close that off. Screw it, they don't get any bonus points. But yeah, how do you find a way to stand out when there are so many amazing streamers out there? I don't know. If anyone finds the answer, let me know. But in the meantime, it is a little after 8 o'clock where I'm at, so I am going to take a break, just kind of refresh my beverage because I just finished off my drink. So I'm going to refresh my beverage, go to the bathroom, just kind of rest my eyes and my wrist a minute, and then we will get right back to it within a few minutes here. So sit tight, hang tight, we'll be back shortly. Alrighty. Oh, wait, hold on. Gotta get that screen. There we go. Alright. I'm back in the saddle again. I'm back. Okay. Hold on. Just gotta bundle up. It's cold in my apartment. It's probably because I made it blue lights. Everyone knows that blue means it's cold. It's my own fault. Alright, we're back. So, we got our walls and everything. I do want the walls to go ahead and... Woo, so many walls. Do those, group them up together. Call that wall layer. Okay. Yeah, okay. The only thing I'm wondering, I'm just gonna toy with something here. I'm going to, I know they have, I saw it over here, right? There we go, some snow, just to have a white background. Oh wait, hold up, delete that. Delete this. I'm just going to do this, and then put that in the background there. Does that make it, is that more or less visually striking? I don't know if that significantly helps. I don't think that's significantly better. I'm just trying to add something that's a bit better in terms of like high contrast to make it a bit more visually striking, like where the walls and stuff are. What if I did like a grass? If we do grass. No, I don't like that. If I did something like that and then put that towards the back. No, that's worse. About that. It's not significantly different in any way, shape, or form. Okay, well, I'm not gonna worry about it then. I guess that's about as good as we're gonna get in terms of visuals, like visually striking. Okay, so what I wanted to do here is I want to ungroup this section. And I wanted to take the water outline and move it up there. Yeah. And I wish there was a way to make... I wonder if... Hold on, I wonder if I can, like... Effects... Backing grid... Oh wait, hold up. I think that's what I'm looking for here. That is a nice contrast just like that, actually. I kind of like that. Because then when we... Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to think and I'm trying to soak it in and see if I like that better. I think that works better because I think the significant thing there, what's significant about that is it hides the grid. And I think that's what sets it apart because that smooth, it's kind of like a cream color. That smooth coloring there without the grid layout, I think makes a difference. And I like the blue there. Playing on roll 20, players are going to see the blue there, and that might give them some hints about stuff, but I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. For them to understand. Yeah, as long as I don't explain it, they may or may not understand it. I can just explain to them. You know, and honestly, with like a good group of players too, you could just let's see, we can get rid of that. We're not actually doing that yet. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that'll be good. As long as you have a good group of players, that's the thing about it is you can uh, you can just like I could just tell them like that you're gonna see some blue lines. Disregard those. Those are DM information, something that I need, so you don't. They're not anything your character sees. Don't worry about them. And I think if I do that, that'll work. Because the only other way that I could see it working is if I could have a way to like make, but it's like I would have to create. I don't even know if they would have the capability in Roll20, because I could see the concept of. Let's see, I'm gonna bring this up to full size here. I could see the idea of like creating them as both separate layers and putting one in the DM layer and one in the map layer, so that as DM I could see it and then they couldn't, and make it translucent. But I want to have it all sort of encapsulated and incorporated just like this, for the sake of being able to use it easily as a live and in-person session map. So yeah, so we're gonna leave it like that. And now we're gonna start our. We're gonna say, oh, the neighbor children are screaming their heads off here. That's fun. Okay, so now here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this can be a fun thing. So one of the things that I'd like to do with dungeons, if you haven't picked up on it, one of the things I like to do when I'm making a dungeon is make it fun for me. The process is fun for me. It's like a fun writing challenge for me. So I leave a certain degree of things up to chance, and I'm gonna do that here. I pulled out. Okay, we're pulling out a different dice. This is my other metal dice. We're again going with D10 because we work at 10 rooms. So I've got my other D10 here. Will it focus in? Yeah, it will. Look at that. Silver metal. Silver metal with green sides on it. I like this one a lot. This one's got some good memories associated with it. So we're just gonna go like this, and we're gonna do. So like I'm looking at 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do the rooms based on the ground, the earth, and we're just gonna go ahead and add an area in here. We might do an area here, like have this be a central area right here, and then have this hallway labyrinth be an area too, or an area as well. I suppose I should probably say it. So it's like this labyrinthy area is a section, and then that area is a section as well. So we got 10, and we're just going to consider, and we're going to go along, and we're going to do rooms. Obviously it's going to be without replacement, but we're going to go like you're going to roll this room and see what number it is, and then go along and just do that way. So that way I have to sort of creatively consider how it is that whatever is in the room, because remember when we're doing our layout here, right, I've already got them, right, marker 2 through 6. I do it that way. So, well, you'll see. I don't think I'm explaining it very well, but you'll see, and it's going to turn into a fun challenge here. So we need to go. I just need to go to. We need to go to objects. I don't think they have. Oh yeah, no, we don't need that. Webs, nice. Okay, we're gonna go to. I know they have them in. What did they have them in tokens or? No, I don't think so. Does it say limos? Oh, that's right, because it's like all in Spanish for these things. go to, what am I looking for here? Dragonville, I think, has Mark's numeric. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's just do it by, yeah, well, you'll see. I'm going to do it randomly. So I'm going to roll the dice here. Okay, so that first room, that upper left-hand corner is going to be room number 8. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put room number 8 up there. Hold on, wait. I got to go to layers here. I'll move that object up there. So this we're going to do, wait, hold on. We're going to do that, and we're going to do, group that together. And we're going to do that. Let's see, we're going to call this framework. There we go. So there's our framework. Okay, so that's room number 8. So we've already done number 8. So then the next one is by the roll, going to be room number 4, and that's going to be right here. Next one, room number 10. So room number 10 is going to be this area right here. It's going to be room number 10. Number 2. So this area here is going to be room number 2, or area number 2. All right. Let's see. We rolled a 2. We've already done 2. We're going to roll it again. Number 7. Okay. Whoops. So this is area number 7. Next one down. So this one here is going to be room number 5. Already did 5. Already did 2. Already did 10. Is that 10 again? Did we do 8? Yeah, we already did 8. Already did 5. 6. Okay, so next one is going to be number 6. 7, we already did 7, didn't we? Yep. Wait, hold on. We've got 1, 3, 1, 3, and 9. Yep, 1, 3, and 9. Yep, that's perfect. Okay, so how about that? We just rolled a 1. Ha! How about that? I should get a dice cam, but that's awfully specific cam work, and an extra cam for something that I would not be actually all that common. So a 3 or a 9. Okay, here's how we're going to do to speed this thing up, right? Rather than just continually rolling until one or the other shows up. If it's even, that's 3. If it's odd, that's 9 for the next area. Okay, even is 3, odd is 9. It's an odd number, so room number 9 is right there, which means that 3 is going to be in this little labyrinthy area right here. Okay, so there we've got those. We're just going to group those together. Call this area, room numbers. There we go, room numbers, room numbers. Okay, there we go. I dig it. I dig it. So we got our setup now, which is good. Yeah. So yeah. That means we have our framework largely in order. So we're gonna go over here, and now we got to go back to, where is it? Tops collection here. All of the objects that we need there. And then yeah. So let's get designing here. Let's get designing. Or filling, I should say, is really what we're doing here. We're filling this area up. Whoops, nope, I don't want it over there. I want it over here. There we go. So, we're going to do this. It's going to be kind of clunky. Okay, here's what we're going to do for it. We're going to do that, actually. Set that side up there. And then oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to grab. Geez. Geez. I goofed it. Let's see here. Maybe I can do it. Hold on. I'm gonna figure this out. There we go. That's what I was going for. Because see, then we can move around and then pull over here and have a bit more to see. Okay. So we gotta get ourselves some dungeon-wide notes here first. Skill check's easy. This is where we go to our where is it? Challenge levels and enemies right here. So we're working on a level 2 dungeon. So easies are 10, 11, and 12. This is so this is for any challenge things. This is not like I'll have some pre-planned things. So no, we don't need an either. I got a toy with a couple of my keys here. A couple of my keys are getting funky here. So 10, 11, and 12. So not all are necessarily going to be at those levels. I may, there'll be some checks that are predetermined specifically when we're talking about like attacks and saves and stuff like that. In combat, those will have like very defined rules already as per character sheets and everything. But sometimes players will just be like, "Oh, I want to try jumping over that river." Like in this one, I want to try jumping over that river. Then I can just say like, "Oh, okay, well then give me an athletics check." And if it's just a narrow river, I'll say, I can keep in mind like, "Oh, this should be a pretty easy thing for them." And since it's set for level 2, that means that the easy is a 10, right? So that way I always just have it there, and it's less arbitrary. So if players want to start getting upset over how easy or how difficult something is, I can just say like, hey, I preset it based on the level. That's what it is, and you can see everything that I'm using. And it's just for the sake of, excuse me, just for the sake of keeping it simple and straightforward. All right, so those are skill checks there. So long rest, 50%, half of enemies killed will regenerate. So we're just gonna go ahead and set that up here. Copy that. Paste, 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 paste. Because there's 5 out of 10 chance that'll happen. So wandering monsters. Set to medium difficulty for intended player level. So medium difficulty. What we're going to do here is pull up a tool. We're going to go to Kobold.club. Kobold Fight Club, one of my favorite tools. Largely is not going to matter here. 5 players, level... Come here. Come on. Level 2. Minciar, nothing. Any. Yes, he said everything to any. And then we're going to go ahead and just do random medium. So it's given us 1 CR2. Our CR2, I believe, is our boss. So we don't want to do that. We're saving our boss. So we're just going to go ahead and random medium it again. Gives us 2 quarter and 2 half. So we have quarter. Don't have quarter. Ugh. So instead, what we're going to do is do another random medium one. 8 1/8. Okay, we have an 8. So 8 merfolk. So we're just going to do Wandering Monsters Approach. Merfolk. Hold on. Merfolk. Wow. Wow, Scott. Merfolk times 8. So 8 merfolk will come up and just accost them. And I think that'll work in most any room. If they are in a room that is not possible, then they get out of Dodge. They get out scot-free, so to speak. Wandering Monsters Approach. Hold on, we need to do that. And then we're just going to copy that. Just make it easier. Monsters Approach, tab. Okay, and so now we're going to go and we're going to say the same thing here. We're random medium. 3 1/2s. Do we have a 1/2 skill challenge? We don't. So, we just going to do it again. You know what? Screw it. Take away the half. How many quarters to make a medium? 5. 5 1/4s. So 5 turtles attack. Fucking whatever. Sometimes you just gotta do it. All right. Turtle times 5. So 5 turtles go in there and accost the people while they're trying to sleep. All right. Uneventful night. 2 out of 10 chance that will happen. becomes 100% chance of an uneventful night if they hole themselves up in the fortifiable section. Alright, and then 10, Divine Intervention. We can just get rid of that and say Divine Intervention. I love having that there. That's kind of how I use that as a tool for helping players sort of track their character's behavior and the results of their actions as they're going and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so immediately I'm noticing I need to do something. And in fact, actually what we're going to do, immediately I can see, let's say we want to go ungroup the room numbers here. I'm going to grab this. We're going to, whoa, whoops, oops. Hold up. Hold up. Undo, baby. Undo. Did not mean to do that. Okay, so object 3. Can go up there. I'm going to put 1 down here. And we're just going to put 1 right there. And so the labyrinth is in and of itself the guarded entrance. Right, so this is a little bit of flexibility. Kind of defeats what I was saying with the challenge, but because a guarded entrance is guarded entrance, that's the way to get in. That's the way that leads to sort of the exit there. I mean, the other option is we could leave the 3 and the 5. Actually, I kind of like the idea of that being 6. Okay, so we restructure. We restructure again. 3 goes there. 6 is there. 1, put that right there. 5 comes down here. Guarded entrance. So I might need to open up some layers and do some construction here. But it'd be cool if this whole room was open. If this whole room was open right here. And this whole area was our guarded entrance that then led into, and there were multiple pathways to try and enter and start navigating this dungeon. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. So now I have to figure out how I can go about editing this easily. So hold on, there's gotta be a delete tool. Hotkeys. What do we got? Any hotkeys? Tools, puddle, terrain, wall line, text, spline, object brush, object stamp, wall arc, wall polyline, wall line. So those are just all the tools that are up there. Apparently not. Okay, so we're just gonna, let's see, we're gonna just do, really the wall layer is the only one that we want to worry about here. Delete that section of wall. Delete that section of wall there. Okay. And then we'll do our wall tool here. And we'll do like maybe like that. Yeah. Yas. Okay. I like it. So there's our walls. Okay. Group those back together. Wall layer. Okay. Okay. I like it. I'm really liking it. I'm into it. I am into it. And then what I'm going to do is, just for the sake of some clarity, I'm going to go to our floors, fluids, Makes me a little uncomfortable to use the term fluids. But we're just going to go ahead and do that. Put that right next to the ground layer. Oh wait, no, hold on. I want to put that with the water layer. What we're going to do, we're going to ungroup that so that we can take all the water and then group it all back together then again. Yeah. Do water. Oops. Water layer. There we go. Okay. There we go. And then group those all together. I'm going to call that framework. Okay. There we go. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling this. Yeah, I'm feeling this. So that's like the cove, and it opens up into like this cave there, right? And that's where it goes. Yeah, I really like that. I really like this. You know, and so there's like this out over on this side of the map here, right? That's where there would be sort of a larger bay with a lot of water, and then like maybe you go down here and there's a bit of a beach, but then you gotta kind of use the water and get onto the cave network, right? And then immediately it starts with the water flowing underneath, but you have this sort of rock area. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be really cool, guys. I am excited about this. This is gonna be a really cool map. I'm having fun with this. The blockiness of it be damned. This is gonna be a cool map, a cool concept. And I really like putting the 6 there because that gives us our boss layer, or our boss combat with the marrow, who is like in there, you know, and that's kind of where he's housed. But then he has quick access to most other rooms around here. So if they're like over here and they see him or something like that, and like I can make, what I can do is in the section that says there, I can do something where it's like if they take out 2 of the full combat areas, right, or they kill enough, or they kill so many of the merfolk or something, they release him and he starts hunting them, right? And if they do something noisy, he has advantage to find them or something like that, and he's just kind of traveling around, and I can like move on the map where he is. Ooh, this is going to be a cool map. It's going to be complex, but it's going to be cool. It's going to be so stinking cool. Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. You guys have no idea how much I'm already excited about this. We'll do 5 right there, because then this labyrinth will have some. Yeah. Actually, what we'll do is we'll put 5, like right here. So as soon as they enter this area, right, there's merfolk that are swimming around, and they'll pop up. And the combat can be that you basically have to play whack-a-mole with the merfolk, because they'll pop up and like attack and then pop back under the water or something, right? I'll give them all like a bow and arrow so they can like boom, and then duck back down. Yeah, see? You guys, I'm really excited about this. This is gonna be a cool map. This is gonna be a really cool map. Okay, we want to leave the tokens. You know what? I think I've got them where I want them. I'm just gonna group them together, but we're gonna keep them. Room numbers. We're just gonna keep them separate from the framework, just so that way I can, once I'm done doing any other additional details or something that I want to add to this map for the sake of appearance. Yeah. So we want to do that. Just armor, bath, carpet, scripts, objects, overlays, roads, stone. Ruins maybe? No, that's not quite what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for rocks. Overlays, ground. I don't need overlays. Clothing, cages and chains, armors. Light, great vents, holes, chests, chairs, thrones, benches, beds. Fountains and wells, doors, crates, barrels, and baskets. Cemeteries, campfire, barns, and stables. All hay. Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, caves. That's where I'm going to find what I need. Yeah, here we go. So we can add some rocks and stuff to make it a little bit more complex, too. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so room 1, guarded entrance. What's gonna be guarded about this entrance? I almost want to do something just like absurdly simple and straightforward. Like just make it so that it's like the stone is really mossy here. You know, every time they move, everyone who first steps on it make excuse me, make an athletics or acrobatics check or dexterity check to make sure you don't slip and bonk your head. Just like something ridiculously simple like that. But I feel like that's I feel like that's almost making fun of the players though, and I don't like that. I'm not doing this I don't make challenges for the sake of humiliating players. But it would be pretty funny. I don't know. Let me see here. Wondering if this would be a good use for my deck of cards that I use for making traps and challenges, right? Like I kind of started talking about that a little bit. Making challenges with my deck of cards where you can just you just draw a card and that gives you a skill that they would have to use. Like that's what helps determine what skill they have to use, and then I can build the puzzle around that. I'm gonna try that and see if that sparks some imagination. Sometimes that's all you need. And sometimes I don't even end up using what the card says because I come up with a better idea. Like using the card doesn't necessarily have to be an end-all be-all. It can be just a utility to spur on a bit of creativity, which is sometimes all you need. Sometimes it's the toughest part of writing things is just trying to come up with that idea. So we're just going to give this a shot. So I'm just going to draw the one off top. Arcana. Ooh, okay. So, and usually what I do is it's not that you absolutely have to utilize Arcana, otherwise you have no chance of avoiding the trouble, but rather a successful Arcana check would handle it. And so my immediate thought here is I am wheeling all over my cords, and one of these days I'm going to chew up all my cords and damage them. No, my immediate thought here is, so I know we have objects, overlays, mosaic circles. So I'm thinking what I want to do is I want to put some sort of rune circle here. And so that this area is sort of protected by some ancient magic or maybe some magic that the merfolk have placed. Is what my first thought is. And that's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually... That's a little big. Can put that... that looks pretty merfolky right there, right? Put that just right there. Okay, so we're going to call this one... Okay, so let's see here. Guarded by a magical trap. Gonna bachoo that right there. Now I just want to, let me see here. I'm gonna go to D&D Beyond, one of my favorite websites. That I'm not even paid for them. Like they don't even have to pay me to shill for them. I love what I just love the resources they have put together. Monsters. Merfolk. I don't know if there'll be... doesn't give them a baseline magical thing. But I'm just gonna go ahead. Because in my world I'm giving merfolk a lot more sort of enlightenment than what the baseline lore is. All spells. Because I'm giving them more sort of like knowledge and just ability than what the baseline offers, I'm going to give them some druidic magic here. And we're going to, let's see here, sort by level. And I'm going to find just like a first level spell that they might have been able to sort of ritualistically cast. Charm person. Oh, charm person. Charmed by you until the spell ends. Companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. Okay. Yep, I know exactly what we're going to do. So, we are going to get back in here. Grab this. We're going to tuck this back here. Anyone who walks over that... Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 hey, whoa, whoa, hey. Undo that. I'm just listening to the song in the background here. What song is this? Wheatley's Song by Miracle of Sound. I'm gonna have to... Hold on, I'm just gonna look to see if that's like on Spotify. Hold on, let's see here. I just gotta see if I can find this just so I can save it for later. Hold on. It's called Wheatley's... Hold on. Wheatley's Song by Miracle of Sound. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna like that. Sorry, I'm just saving it to my Spotify. I like that. I like this a lot. Oh golly. Okay. All right. So the trap is guarded by a magical trap. I wanna see here. Let me see here. So let's see here. If players ask if they notice any traps, ask what nature of trap, as in well, so that I feel like that's a giveaway here. Players ask if they notice any traps. We're gonna do. Just ask if they notice any traps. ... Difficult. Difficult investigation. Okay, wait. If players ask if they notice any traps. Difficult investigation. If players ask if they notice any magical auras, easy arcana. In this room, there is a ritual circle of the... what was it called? Oh, wait, that's not the one I wanted. Where the frick is it? There it is. The charm person. Of a type of charm person spell. So I gotta think about how difficult I want this to be for them. I don't mind breaking the rules of magic, and I always just hand wave it by saying it's an ancient form of magic. Um, and it's a weird form of magic for like that's the direct result of the effects of the unhinging making music or not music. I'm saying music because I was thinking of music because there's music playing and it's cool. Magic, um, ancient forms of magic as well as weird non-conventional forms of magic that work differently. I always hand wave that. And if you've got a good group of players, they don't mind it because they understand that as a DM, you're doing that for the sake of giving them some unique challenges. The problem is if you have a player who's a rules lawyer, um, which is always a sticky point. I respect you. I a lot of times can respect what a rules lawyer is, attempting to accomplish by being the way they are. They want a fair and level playing field. Um, but I don't prefer playing with rules lawyers, and if I end up with a rules lawyer, I usually will try and have talks with them to the side to say, hey, I understand where you're coming from, but keep in mind I'm trying to produce I'm not beholden to the rules. I'm trying to create a puzzle that is solvable for you guys with the use of the rules. Right? And sometimes that means the challenge has to be a little creative. And that's what I'm going to do here. Charm person spell. So what I'm going to do with it is we're just going to consider it like with the 4 squares, each square is a charge. Okay, so we're going to say can affect up to 4 players if players step into the circle, into the ritual circle, dot. Charm person, does it say? Wisdom save, okay. I want to do it difficult, so we're going to say DC 12 wisdom save. On successful save, can feel some sort of magic impacting them. We'll do well, no, because they would have to identify magic. But we'll give them that they can feel it. On fail, are charmed by the merfolk. Will see merfolk as friends until, let's see here, because normally it would be like every turn you can try and make the wisdom saving throw, but like that kind of defeats it. So we'll see merfolk as friends. So I'm just going to make it until injured in any way. Injured by. See, merfolk. What are the exact things of the rules say here? We can use that to at least inform. You attempt to charm a humanoid you see. It must make a wisdom saving throw and does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it. If it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by you or spell until the spell ends. Duration is 1 hour, or until you or your companions do anything harmful to it. Yeah. So okay. So lasts 1 hour. Yeah, so they're just charmed, and it's not something you can do, and it doesn't say that you can do it at the beginning of any turn anyway, so that's perfect. It's not even really against the rules. See, focus friends until an hour has passed, or they receive damage. Okay, and so the idea here, I'm just going to write this here. Idea is that when encountering merfolk will be weak to suggestions to approach the water to converse with the merfolk, where they can drag the player in to try and drown him or her. Right, so it's like, so the idea that I have is like they're charmed then as they're walking through this cave, so that when they interact with merfolk, the merfolk will say to the player that's charmed, who views them as friends, right? Because like the other thing too is, let's see here. I want to also, let me see here. Magical effect is imperceptible to anyone outside of the circle. So it's very subtle whisper effects to impacted players. So the idea is that a player steps in there and charm person is cast on them, but no one else really is aware of it. Right? No one knows what's happening, and I'll whisper the impact to the player so that the player understands what's happening to them, but the other players don't, just to avoid a little extra meta-ing, right? And so then the idea is that the person's like, you know, they interact, they first encounter merfolk, and the merfolk will try and play nice at first, you know, and like kind of do the siren thing where they're like, no, come, you know, talk with us, come chat with us, come hang out with us. And the person who's trying to be like, okay, and will kind of walk over thinking they're friends, and then the merfolk will grapple them, and like as soon as they're grappled, even actually being grappled, like they can try and fight, but they'd still technically be charmed, and they might, you know, like the players might think that it's like some sort of playful wrestling or something like that. So it's like until they hit the water, you know, and I might even be generous and say as soon as they grab them, the players, you know, that counts as sort of receiving something harmful, right? But it's like until they grab them and they're fighting to not be dragged into the water and drowned, you know, then you know, they think they're friends. And so the idea is the merfolk would use that to get an advantage and capture someone that they could essentially feed to the marrow, is what I'm thinking. Is what they would try to do. They would try to drag the person and like be drowning them and dragging them. So like, you know, if they're here, you know, they're charmed here and they won't interact with it necessarily until like maybe they get to area 3 here or something like that, and then some merfolk would pop out here, you know, or pop out there and talk to them, and then grab the person, drag them down underneath, right, and then drag them out into the water over here, so players could still see and maybe try to save them, but they would be essentially be getting eaten by the marrow. Yes, I think this is cool. I think this is really cool. Drag the player into either try and, well, no, you know, drag the player in to bring to the marrow as a meal offering. That's what we'll do, because that's what they want to try and do. They want to try and feed this human to the marrow. So that's cool. Man, this is going to be a cool dungeon. I'm really excited about writing more on this dungeon. This is going to be sweet. But it is 2 minutes to 9 here, which means for me it is time for me to sign off so I can get ready and be ready to get up bright and early at 4 a.m. tomorrow, as is my habit. So, not a whole lot of action tonight with people coming and visiting, but that's okay. I'm going to leave it up. These seem to be getting a fair number of viewers looking at the replays, which is sweet. I hope people are watching these replays and enjoying them. I'm having a lot of fun just sort of talking through my process while I go. I think it's fun stuff. I think it's good to be sharing ideas. And like I keep saying, I'm excited about this dungeon, so I'm excited to have the chance to share it. So, yeah. So that's all I've got for tonight. This week should be a normal week. Tomorrow we are streaming some more Borderlands. We'll be back doing that. Wednesday writing, Thursday Borderlands, and then Friday writing, and then we should this Saturday, as of right now, there's nothing getting in the way of doing some more Borderlands streaming this Saturday. So we've got a good chill week of doing some streaming, and yeah, I guess that's all I got. Thanks to anyone who is taking the time to just check out my stream and at least give me a chance. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to figure out what my voice is, what my system is here as a streamer. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm trying to figure it out. But at any rate, thank you to everyone. And yeah, go out there, be good to each other, spread some good in the world. And I'm EnviroBoy, and we'll see you later. Take care.